What do they call that? Body.
That's
linkers.
what that is right there.
Oh.
And then you can screw different things onto it.
Oh, so you have that, and you can
Yeah.
put different jewels or different things.
If you get real bored
Oh my.
sometime,
It's permanently in
there's
there.
a
It'll never
movie
come out.
called Modified. You can get on Netflix.
Exactly. Modify the lizard guy.
Well,
the
it shows all
cat guy.
realms of
Yeah.
body modifications,
Mhm.
from just simple breast implants to
Mhm.
the complete freak show people that
Yeah.
are like this lady with 6,000 piercings in her
Right.
body, you know. So
Or the
it's
ones
real
who get
good.
their tongues split so they look like a lizard, and they get all those, what do they call those again, modifications? Where they
The-
get the different things that make them look like they have the big
Oh, the
ridges,
implants.
reptilian
Implants.
ridges or something, they
Yeah.
call them
Yeah.
implants.
They're just well, they use silicone
A
implants.
silicone.
And now that has to be done by a surgeon.
No.
No?
Legally in the state of
Are
Kansas, you
you
can't do it.
serious?
Um,
You're like literally cutting into the skin.
the guys that do it are on the forefront of it, like the big guys like Lee Hayworth. They
Now, I know a
are
Lee
still kinda
Hayworth,
in
but
the-
I don't think he's into that.
in the they're in the
I think he's like a
gray area of
contractor
it.
builder in
Yeah.
town, so it's not the same.
Those
one.
guys from out in California.
Oh, out in
He
California.
does all the suspensions and stuff like that.
Now, what's a suspension?
Where they put big fish hooks through your back
And
or
then
your
hang.
knees, and they actually hang you from
What's the
them.
point of that?
A lot of people do it for
Is this some
the
sort of eroticism? or
tribal
Some
just
people-
kinda
tribal,
euphoric feel from it.
Yeah. pump the endorphins?
I don't have a clue why they do half the stuff they do.
Yeah.
We're like the normal tattoo
Right.
people. We don't like do
Yeah.
this freaky.
You're very well suited for Salinas,
Yeah, we're
believe
just,
me.
we're just good. We're
But
good.
Lee's on that, like I said, he's on that gray area right now where it's he's fighting with legislation and stuff out there in California to keep it where it's legal for him to do it. Because it's not illegal for him to do it, it's not legal. There's that
Okay, there's
gray
no
area.
law.
Yeah, there's
It's a
nothing
gray area
against
that they
it, but
haven't
there's
come
nothing
in
for
with.
it yet.
Right,
So
right. It's
and
like
he
the
does
potpourri in Salinas
Yeah.
was okay until the legislator got after it.
he does the whole the surgical grade implants and
Wow.
all the suspensions
Wow.
and urethra splitting. He does all that
Ooh.
really
Ooh,
hardcore
really
weird
bizarre.
stuff.
He's like a surgeon. He's like
Yeah.
a surgeon
Oh,
guy
yeah.
who didn't go to med school.
But he's I don't.
But he
I don't
probably
think
has
did
enough of a
med school, but
reputation
he's
because
got,
you have to have your autoclaves to sterilize, right?
Oh, yeah.
To sterilize your equipment. So I
He
mean,
does
he's using
a-
sterile technique, or he
he-
wouldn't be in business.
Oh yeah, he's 100% sterile.
Right.
But he's got some medical training. I don't know
Really?
how far it goes. I'm sure he doesn't have no kind of surgical license or nothing. But
Right. He's not a MD.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an odd duck too.
Yeah, yeah, interesting. So when we talked about a little bit about mental illness, I know you guys need to get, it's your day off, so I'll let you get going
Oh, it's
here.
okay.
But when you talk about mentally ill people, what might you see that might tip you into saying, I'm not sure, go home and think about this, or do you use that judgment, or do you
Oh, yeah,
sometimes
I-
just
oh,
go with
definitely.
that?
Yeah.
I mean, they're there for a service, you're
Yeah.
here.
We try to hold ourselves to like a higher standard, I guess, where it's got to be a professional level. Like with minors, I will not tattoo a minor below like a T-shirt. Like if you can't be covered with a T-shirt, I won't do it.
Now, I didn't think minors could be tattooed.
Legally in the state of Kansas, yes, as long as
Really?
there's a whole
With parental
There's no
consent.
age.
God,
I
there's a
called.
Wish I would have
whole-
brought that up.
There's
in
a
the
whole lot of
show.
Yeah,
paperwork
I
that
called the
crap,
state and
dude.
I spoke directly to them,
Wow.
and there's no law. They can be 18, as
Oh
long as the
my
parents
gosh.
say it's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a whole
We
lot of
don't do
paperwork
that,
we gotta
but-
do. I won't tattoo below 16 unless it's
Because they're not making their own
No.
informed consent.
unless like I said, there's cases like where if a 15-year-old just lost his dad and him and his dad have been best friends forever,
I
and
gotcha.
he wants to get a memorial, I'll do
Yeah.
something like that.
Sure.
It's kind of case by case, but
Mhm,
yeah, there's like I said, we try to hold ourselves to a higher standard than I think a lot of shops I've worked in.
mhm.
We won't do. Like if you're coming in for your first tattoo, I'm not going to tattoo the side of your neck or the top of your hand or your face. That's just, it's dumb to me that people even think that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, come on, you got to think about your livelihood and
Right.
your life.
Right.
They always bring, well, you got it done. I'm 32 years old and I want a
Yes.
tattoo
And that
shop.
wasn't my
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's like, come on.
Even still with the tattoos I have, I make sure that I can cover them up.
Mhm,
Still,
mhm.
so-
Yeah, if you want to or need to.
Because sometimes you just want to turn it off. Because
Right.
people are always like, oh my God, can I see your artwork? And you're like, oh my God.
But it's funny, like when
They
we go
do.
to some of these big,
Yeah.
symphony deals we do every other year when Amanda does her, the Salinas Symphony Orchestra does a big charity fundraiser where they paint old violins and
Mhm,
cellos and stuff.
mhm.
And I've had the pleasure of painting them one, and we're going to do another one this year. But yeah, you show up to those white suit people,
Yeah.
and here's some tattooed weirdo comes in, of course they got like a suit on and stuff. They're like,
Yeah.
What's going on with this
Yeah,
guy?
Yeah, they see your face
Yeah,
and
and
then,
then,
of course, your hands.
And
Next
the
thing you
ladies
know, like-
always touch me. They're like, "Can I
Yeah.
touch you?" And I'm like, "Oh."
That's interesting.
Yeah. That's
I
probably.
can kind of see that, especially you being female, you're more
Yeah, they-
approachable. The women are going to want to touch
And
you.
I don't.
too.
I think I
Yeah.
have like a friendly face, so people
Yeah,
feel like they
you
can
do,
approach
you have
me.
a good smile.
And so then they're like, "Can I touch you? Can I feel that? Does that hurt now?" And I'm like, "Oh my god."
Now that's
little
kind of
kids
ignorant.
Old
It's
people
all
and
you
little
know.
kids are the best though, because
Oh.
old people, they'll either be completely intrigued by it and want to ask you a
Mhm.
million questions,
Mhm.
or they'll just look at you with complete disgust and walk
Yeah.
the other way. And little
Mhm.
kids, they just don't have an on-off switch. They're just like,
Right.
what is that? Why
Why
did you
do
do
you do
that?
that?
Yeah, why do you do that? Because, my mom and dad don't do that, so
Yeah.
interesting.